As the drought tightens its grip on Queensland and New South Wales, farmers are becoming increasingly desperate. Riverbeds are drying up, livestock are deteriorating, and there are concerns for the mental health of farmers. The National Farmers Federation want the federal government to deliver immediate financial assistance. The lobby group argue it's vital to avoid economic collapse in rural and regional towns. David Lewis reports.
It's the dawn of yet another day of drought. And Brock Hindmarch is fighting to keep his cattle alive. There hasn't been a decent drop of rain near Charleville in southwest Queensland since March 2012. And with no pasture left on the ground, Brock Hindmarch has little choice but to knock down this mulga scrub to feed his hungry herd. Brock, it doesn't look like much to feed on.
Yeah, no, it looks a bit, could be a bit harsh on your teeth if you had to go into it, but unfortunately at the moment that's all they've got.
Mulga is better than nothing, but cattle can't live on that alone, and supplementary feed is getting increasingly expensive.
It's very hard to say when enough's enough, you know, how much money do you pour down their throat to keep things going.
Brock Hindmarch is determined not to sell his cattle in a depressed market, but he can't continue down this path forever. He's already cleared another property of nearly all its mulga reserves and had to relocate as a result. So it's totally deserted now, which must be strange.
Yeah, no, it is a little bit odd to just to know there's nothing here, you know.
Like so many others on the land, Brock Hindmarch is an optimist who looks to the skies and hopes for a change in fortune.
We're just sort of praying that when it does all break, you know, there's going to be enough money around for people to buy our stock and hopefully reclaim a bit of that money we've spent on them.
Hey mate, can you go and get Mum to grab some lick in the radio and bring it over and we'll give these cows some lick?
Surviving the drought is a team effort and the entire family is pitching in. Together, they face an uphill battle.
Business-wise, our expenses doubled, and with the market, our income halved. So it's however long you can maintain that for.
They're not the only ones contemplating their future. Almost 70% of Queensland is now drought declared. In New South Wales, 3 council areas are receiving drought assistance from the state government, and that number is expected to rise. David Jones runs a rural merchandise business in Charleville and sees the despair written on the faces of his customers.
When they pull up in the ute, the first thing they do is get the feed for their animals, the calf milk, the feed, before they even go and buy the groceries from themselves. And a lot of these people have had no income for more than a year. So they've got to be struggling.
The shop has been operating for 24 years, and in that time, David says stock prices have stagnated while costs have doubled.
Well, for a classic example, this pellet of lick here, which is a dry supplement, 25% urea for cattle, it has gone from a standard price around that $600 to $660 a tonne. That's now about $1,200 a tonne. So we've nearly had a doubling in price in supplements.
A critically low supply of water is making matters much worse.
All the dams are drying up. Now all the creeks and rivers are drying up. So people are frantically drilling bores to try and supply water to their stock, and financially very difficult for them.
It's a common story across the West. So Dennis, as hard as it is to believe, this is actually the Warrego River.
It is. Yeah, as I said, I was born here and I've never seen it so low.
The local mayor, Dennis Cook, says water shortages are preventing local governments from doing important work.
It doesn't matter which part you go to, there's hardly any water anywhere. And I mean, there's nothing for the stock, there's nothing for the wildlife, there's nothing even for the roadworks we're doing. It's just not there anymore.
He questions why it's taken so long to address the drought compared to the 2012 floods.
With the flood, it all happens overnight. you immediately we've got local disaster committees, we've got all that here, and what happens is we spin straight into action. And everyone comes out, they get all the help possible straight away. But with a drought, it just sort of sneaks up on you, keeps going on and gets worse and worse. But we really need a process for drought.
Time is of the essence. Livestock is deteriorating, and there's a real risk the drought could become a human catastrophe too. Lifeline has confirmed reports a grazier committed suicide after he ran out of feed for his 400 head of cattle. He tried to have them moved elsewhere, but was told they were too weak to travel. So he shot the animals before shooting himself.
How would you feel going out every day shooting baby calves and cows? I mean, these people love animals. They're not people that hate animals, they love their animals. That's why they're on the land.
Despite some promising signs of rain, there is yet to be any reprieve, and farmers are looking to the federal government for urgent assistance.
I think that the government and the people of Australia understand when a lot of Australians' whole communities are in trouble. And these were strong communities, these were prosperous communities before the drought, and they will be again after the drought. They just need a hand to get through it.
As they wait to hear if and when help will arrive, Brock and Katrina Hindmarch are getting on with the task in front of them.
We have plans and they're failing out of our control, and so you come up with more plans.
Well, I guess you just got to sort of live with the ups and the downs and tell yourself that you know, there is something around the corner whenever that may be, and hopefully it turns up shortly. Yeah.
David Lewis with that report.